Today, we're going to be taking a look at the top 25 vintage non-sport sales sold on eBay for October 2024. Our prices range from $900 all the way to about $7,000 and feature iconic brands like Garbage Pail Kids, Star Wars, Superman, and much more. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the top sales. All right, so let's take a look at these results. But real quick, my criteria for vintage non-sports has to be 2000 or earlier. I do not allow duplicated cards, but if there's variants or autos, that's perfectly okay. And you can have both graded and raw cards. So up first, we have 1940 Superman card number 55. There's 7 PSA 5s on the pop report, and there's total 68 in general for this card. You have multiple people attacking Superman on this one. A kind of interesting design. Up next, we have a 1979 Warner Bros. Prince. Now, this is kind of considered the rookie card of Prince. Rookie cards with music is a full discussion on itself. Some people want to say it's like a first appearance. I kind of like first appearance a little bit better, but regardless, this was issued with the Warner Brothers set of musicians in 1979. There's also some other really big names in there, such as ZZ Top, which I personally have. I don't have a Prince yet. If you don't know Prince, he's famous for his song Purple Rain, which a lot of people cover still to this day, as well as Little Red Corvette. Next, we have a 1992 Marvel Masterpieces Spider-Man prototype. Now, I'm not an expert on Marvel cards. I also saw that there's a promo from this as well. And there's a total pop of 66 with this card, 9 being PSA 10s. This one sold for $960. I'm sure these look awesome in person. The scan on this one, the colors look a bit off. All right, I can't show you guys the image of this, otherwise video will be taken down. But card number 283 from the Horrors of War set. This one sold for $1,074. It was a raw card, not graded. So maybe some potential of a bump in price if it was graded, but I didn't really take a look at the detailed statistics behind that. Regardless, still one of your more expensive cards pre-World War II. All right, I learned something new with this card for 1967 Topps Wacky Packs. So first off, I am not an expert on Wacky Packs cards. I've never owned any vintage. I think I've maybe opened some packs as a kid, maybe 2000 stuff, but never got into 1960s or 70s Wacky Packs. And it's something that I still need to do a lot of research on because it is a big part of non-sports. But regardless, this is the cracked animal cards. And what I didn't realize is this card was pulled from production due to a cease and desist. And it's considered a non-repeated title since it was not reprinted in the first series in 1973. Some information I grabbed from wackypacks.com. It says it's not quite as rare as Jolly Mean 21, but it goes for more money since its demand for it is a lot higher. It's equally as rare as rats, but demand for rats is somewhat higher. I was shocked at how expensive this card was in high grade. And when this first was presented to me on the list, I couldn't believe a PSA 3 sold for $11.25. But that shows you that I just don't have that domain knowledge. And yeah, super expensive card on this one. And maybe you guys learned something new as well. All right, it's a 1977 Darth Vader in a PSA 9, $11.75. There's only 5 PSA 10s of this that exist. Mars Attack, Beast and the Beauty, opposite of Beauty and the Beast. On that one, there's 3 PSA 9s and 40 PSA 8s out there. Like these videos, right? There's always gonna be Mars Attack. Actually, we're gonna be covering a little bit of Argentina Mars Attack in the honorable mention side of things, something you don't see every single day. Also, there's UK Mars Attack, which we've had in videos. So multiple different releases based off of this, and obviously there's the movie that's based off of the set as well. 1977 Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker autograph. There's 138 of these that are signed out there through PSA. There's obviously a decent portion also at BGS, but I didn't include that with this number. This one in a 6th grade with an autograph being a 10, sold slightly under $1,400 in our 18 spot. Jumping into 17, another Spider-Man. This is a diamond preview. Look identical to your normal 1990, or is it 90 or 91 Marvel Universe cards, but I believe there's like a stamp or emblem on the back that says diamond preview that you'd have to flip over the card to take a look at it. They do significantly sell higher than the non-diamond preview counterparts, and this one sold for $1,500. Obi-Wan Kenobi rescues Luke. I think that's what it was. I'm not a Star Wars expert. There's Pop 5 PSA 10, and this one sold for $1,500. Probably gonna get roasted for that one, but it's okay. 1980 Marvel Wolverine. Now this was a card I wasn't aware of, and a viewer of the channel actually reached out to me on Facebook and said they found these were selling, and I didn't cover them in the videos. So look, non-sports is, there's so much to non-sports, right? Foreign issues and stuff like that. This is a foreign issue itself. I don't know everything, and no one out there is going to know everything. So if you guys do see cards that I don't feature in this video that should be here, please let me know, because I want to have a better list for you guys every single month. But this is the first Wolverine appearance in just the 9 itself, sold for $1,500. The card that I missed a few episodes back was a PSA 10. Forget what the sales price on it, but it was a crazy sale. Apparently these are very, very tough to find. So there's also some other first appearances within this set. We have a 1989 Rotten to the Core Donald Trump. I'm going to be interested to see how this card performs over the next few months. I expected like election season hype to die down, and same with these prices, but they've held steady. And this 10 sold for $1,600. I want to say other 10s that went to auction usually do between like $1,200 and $1,400. And there's also some of these that are signed that are out there. Amelia Earhart. So this is probably one of her best cards out there. I know she has a Star Candy also, which I would rank a little bit higher above. This set itself has 4 different printings, but the Earhart was part of the first printing, and it was pulled from production. And because of that, this is why this card is super, super expensive, and it sold for $1,600. Also, as a bonus, we get a little bit of a hand over here. If you look at the bottom left of the screen, yeah, a little bonus action over there. All right, number 12, Sea Raider. We have Blackbeard over here. I would say this is probably the second most popular Blackbeard card. I'm going to give a little bit of the edge to the first known one, which is in the Allen and Ginter set. Although I think the design on this one is significantly better than the one on the Ginter set. But I just think there's a little bit more preference for the first appearance, and also being an 1800s card. This was a full set of Pirates cards issued in the 1930s. And there's some variants based off of the language on the back as well. There's some French ones. Number 11, we have Rocky 2 signed by Sylvester Stallone. And I know it mentions trading card, but this was a full set issued by Topps in 1979. This is not the first Stallone card. He actually has a 1976 Fans that's earlier. Much tougher to find, by the way. But yeah. All right, so let's jump into some honorable mentions. But real quick, if you guys want to join my Facebook group, I have a link down below in the description and the comment section for that. That's for all your vintage non-sports needs. Personally, I wish the group was a little bit more on the education side, but people do sell cards in there as well. So both are welcome, but we try to focus on vintage cards, right? So anything that I kind of featured in this video pre-2000, that's what I personally define as vintage. And there's a ton of great collectors in there. So if you guys want to join, make sure to do that. And let's start off with this 1977 Star Wars uncut sheet. It has 2 excited C3PO cards on here, and this one sold for $3,050. Up next, we have a 1975 Topps Marvel comic book wrapped by Baseball Card Exchange. This one sold for $1,800. We have a Green Goblin overprint back graded by SGC. You don't really see many air cards of Marvel masterpieces, or at least I personally haven't, doing these sales videos, and sold for $650. This one, man, this was a great deal for the buyer. 3 Waltz over here for $1,000. These look pretty clean. I think at a minimum you're getting a 4 on these. And I didn't fully vet these cards. I didn't look at the back. I didn't look at the corners really close. Great deal for the buyer, because I don't think you lose any money on these. And it's full upside. I mean, if you get 5s and 6s, the price really goes up pretty fast. So congrats to the buyer who bought this for $1,000. These are the type of lots I really should be paying attention to. This is the Mars Attack Argentina release over here. You can see the Spanish down at the bottom, and it also looks like they use a different paper stock on this. This sold for $1,500, which I think was a steal, because the normal 1962 Mars Attack, the full set, is a few $1,000s in itself. These are much rarer, And I think over time there's going to be a more of a push for foreign issue non-sports. Right now, I think a lot of people are still discovering a lot of the American sets, so they really haven't branched out. And the same thing happened with baseball. A lot of people started learning a lot more about vintage baseball. And eventually there was a push to learn about Venezuela cards, right? And other foreign issues. And now you look at like a Venny 1968 Nolan Ryan that outsells the normal tops Nolan Ryan in low grades, not at high grades, but regardless, I think eventually there's going to be a push on the non-sport side of things where people are going to start researching more foreign issues, especially ones that have crosses over, like this Mars Attack, right? Again, they have a UK version and they also have this Argentina version. They may have others that I'm not aware of. And do let me know if there is, but this sold for $1,500 and I think it's a pretty good price. Galacticus and 1990 Marvel Universe, $850 in a 10. A 1966 Marvel superhero Spider-Man. I don't know if this is the first Spider-Man card or not. Again, I'm not a Marvel expert, so please let me know. This one sold for $675. We have a wax pack of wacky packages over here. If you want to find that one rat card or find those, what it was, animal crackers or something like that, this might be your chance. And this sold for slightly under $3,000. This is the number one 1957 top space set, and this one sold slightly under $7,000 on this. So you could take over the registry on that, which I believe this is also like the first space set that Topps issued. That actually might not be a bad purchase at this price point, to be honest with you guys. I think there's Sputnik in the set and like the dog and chimpanzee, maybe that went into space. Depends on the years, but like 50-50 if that's the case or not. All right, we're jumping back into our top 10 now. And let's start off with Garbage Pail Kids. I'm going to warn you guys, there's a ton of Garbage Pail Kids in this top 10. So we're starting off with JDK Glossy 5B. There's 8 PSA 10s. This one sold for $25.75. Then we have another Mars Attack. This is price captive in an 8, $2,600. There's only 3 9s out there, but there's a decent amount of 8s. Dead Ted 5A. If you look, these are like the same exact design, but this has different names at the bottom. There's also a lot of different variants, whether there's checklist backs, glossy or non-glossy. So I'll try to call those out when I see them. This sold for $27.50. We have a Skybox Simpsons. This was used for the iconic autograph, not really autograph, but art card that you see of Bart that's out there. This sold for $32.27. A lot of people want to pair these together, and that's why these go for such an expensive amount of money. Unfortunately, you can't redeem them now for the art card. But since they weren't redeemed, they are quite expensive, especially if you're a Simpsons fan and there are iconic characters out there. Luke Skywalker card number 1. This one was sold on ComC. $3,550 on this. In the 5 spot, we have a Blasted Billy card 8B. There are 17 PSA 10s out there on this one. Huge price difference between this and the Atom Bomb. This sold for $37.50. 1966 Batman. I finally picked up a few Batmans that were raw from 1966. They're not going to go to my personal collection. So if you are looking for some lower grades, I will have those graded maybe in a month or so, and they will be available. This one sold slightly under $4,000 in this condition. Then we have a Nasty Nick card 1A in the set in a 9. There's 19 PSA 10s out there, but this 9 sold slightly under $5,000. Number 2, we have Superman card number 1. This card will always be on the list anytime it sells. You're looking at like at least $1,500 to $2,000 in a 1. This 3.5 sold for $64.99. 3.5 might be a little bit generous. Personally, if I was grading this card, I'd give it a 2.5 or a 3. But it doesn't look too bad, right? Even though it does have rounded corners, it has pretty good eye appeal, and I think that's why I got that specific grade. And we're gonna jump into the card that sold the highest this month, and that is Evil Eddie, card 1B in a PSA 10. That sold for $67.50. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you appreciated it, and if you do enjoy these videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to make at least one every single month, especially for non-sports, since this is my favorite to produce. I'm going to put last month's video on the screen right now if you guys want to check that out. And thank you to the following channel members. If you want to support the channel, that is always an option. All right, I'll see you guys in another video.